Okay, tonight, Brexit will be a done deal, but it's left businesses in Britain and its trade partners a little bit jittery. Much is at stake for South Africa, as the UK is one of the country's biggest trading partners. Leon Ayo, president of the British Chamber of Commerce in Southern Africa, that's a whole region that includes South Africa, the SADC region, some people call it, is joining us now to discuss the issue. Leon, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming through to the studio. Well, yeah, finally it's going to happen midnight, but it's going to start a process of transition. Just before you came into the studio, our UK correspondent, Oli Barrett, was telling us that there are rumors and reports in London that Boris Johnson might ask for an extended period of transition for the UK guys out of Brexit. We don't know if he's going to get that or not. But what does it mean for us now? Just a first overriding question. What does it mean for a country like South Africa? We are the biggest economy in Southern Africa. Yeah. Southern Africa last year grew by 0.7% as a region, yes, which is not great economic growth, because if our main engine in Southern Africa, which is South Africa, is not firing up on all cylinders, everybody suffers.
Well, there are a number of reasons why it's important to South Africa, the region and the UK. The UK is leaving the world's largest trading bloc. However, if we look to the future and we look to Africa, we're looking at the world's largest working population. So UK businesses want to access the talent that's available here, but also those consumer markets. And the UK and South Africa have a long shared history, a shared language, a shared culture, a shared time zone. And I represent some 650 British businesses that are already trading here in the region. Next week, I'm hosting a trade mission inbound from the UK, where 5 or 6 businesses are looking to expand and grow their operations into South Africa and beyond into the SADC region. So I believe Brexit, there is a tinge of sadness. It's a divorce after over 40 years, but also it's a new opportunity to engage into new trade relationships.
I mean, recently we saw the UK-Africa Investment Summit taking place in London. Lots of things are being done there. People are speaking the right language. But one wonders, how does that translate into real deals?
Well, I think the investment summit exceeded everyone's expectations. I had the pleasure of being there, and from our own Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who spoke about Africa being the future, it's as ambitious, it's optimistic, it's youthful. We really want to have access to that. But what was so impressive were there were 2,000 delegates, standing room only, there listening to all the keynote speakers, but out at the sides in the meetings, in the coffee shops, in the bars, deals were being done. And there were several billions rands worth of deals done.
Okay, so as Brexit is happening now, if you are a South African businessman, if you are a Zimbabwean businessman, if you're a Mozambican businessman, an Angolan business in Namibia, Lesotho, Swaziland, what are these opportunities you should be looking at grabbing?
So I think the world macroeconomic context is quite tough, and in South Africa, of course, the economy is quite tough. So that's where we need to partner with ecosystems that can add value to your organization. The International Chambers Network is one of those. So we partner with the Department for International Trade, the High Commission and the Diplomatic Mission here in South Africa to give our members visibility of all those opportunities, whether it's to expand their business within the region using UK funding, or even if they want to expand their operations north into the region or even into the UK.
These opportunities, I mean, are they in all sectors? I'm asking this because we keep on hearing all the time about the need to upskill our workforce in South Africa in terms of technological knowledge. People talk about the 4th Industrial Revolution, that you need to get up and going. We know that we're still very mineral rich in the region, not just in South Africa.
Yeah. There's a big move away from coming to South Africa and Africa just to access the extractives under the ground. And increasingly, we believe, and investors believe, we want to access the talent above the ground. So there are opportunities in developing that talent, be that through education, online learning, accessing British organizations such as Henley Business School. There are organizations here on the ground, such as the African Leadership Academy, that's training Africans globally. But equally, there are other sectors that are thriving: fintech, health tech, ed tech, and I think we can leapfrog a lot of the traditional industries that Europe has previously relied upon.
So there should be a lot of optimism, I mean, for South African businesses and business in the region, as the UK is divorcing from the biggest trading bloc in Europe, the EU, from tonight, beginning the transition. Those opportunities should be coming our way, so to speak.
I think there's been an intent to do that for some time. So we're divorcing, but very amicably, and we will enter into a trade deal with Europe. They're our neighbors, they're our allies, they're our friends.
So those will be largely bilateral, rather than multilateral.
It will be interesting to see what Boris Johnson does in the next 12 months, and he may need more time. But we're optimistic. We come from a very close starting point where we will continue to trade as usual. But that means as the UK, we can look to South Africa, to SADC, to enter into those bilateral trade deals ourselves without relying on the European Union.
Besides the talent above the ground that you think the opportunities there and the UK guys are interested in, what else would they be interested in knowing that will go well? I'm asking this against the background of our energy challenges in South Africa today. From today until Monday morning, load shedding is back. Eskom has announced they're battling to maintain a stable grid.
Yeah, entering into the market in South Africa is not without its challenges. When we get people here and the lights go out, people ask questions, about the sustainability of their operations. But what I find is there's a lot of negativity portrayed in the global press about South Africa. I think we can have a more positive narrative through our diplomatic missions, through more strategic communication. Because when we get people here, they see the infrastructure, they see the talent, they have visibility of the talent that's already there. There's much more optimism. And we do have some very dynamic markets, and we have some very reliable institutions. The power situation really is a challenge, but I see it as an opportunity where we can look at sustainable forms of energy, attract sustainable investors that want to use different power sources. And the Western world and the Northern Hemisphere is moving away from those traditional fossil fuel energy systems anyway.
Thank you very much. That's Leon Ayo there, giving us some of the insights post-Brexit for Southern Africa, including South Africa. Lots of opportunities there, but of course we have to fix a few things now and again, but we can afford to be a little bit more positive and optimistic about it.